Hey guys, this is the Betamax man. We've got a NEC Super Beta HiFi. It's a 65EU is the model number, and let's go ahead, take a look. This is an eBay purchase, of course. What in the heck? Did he glue this thing? Well, I don't know. He might have glued it shut or something. Now, I don't know. See, it looks like it's, he's got the flap over here. There we go. Looks like it's double boxed. And it's actually supposed to have a remote. So let's pop it out here. Oh, he included something. Oh, well, it's a beta cover with a remote in it. And there's the remote. So it looks like this remote might work, but this is the factory remote for this thing. So let's and I thought there was going to be a movie there for a minute. Here we go, guys. We're going to open it up here. We'll take a look and, you know, yeah, he did a good job protecting it, so that's good. Because the last one of these, this is my second one, or no, my third one. I've actually had 3 of these units over the years, over the last several years. One of them became a parts deck, and the second one worked, and I got it all working, and it was working, but recently it died. So we're going to have 2 of these to work on. So there will be 2 of these machines that we will work on. It is nice that we have the remote and for the machine. You know, I think he said there might be a tape that's stuck in there. Yeah, there's a tape in there. Oh, he gave me the cover to the movie. So this is the cover to the movie. On beta. So I don't know if I've ever seen this. I have no idea what show this is. But there is a cassette inside. A beta cassette. So here is the machine. As you can see, very nice machine. And this is records the. It not only will play back Beta 1 and Beta 1S, but it will record Beta 1S. It will not record the original Beta 1, but it will record Beta 1S, which is a really nice machine. I love this machine. This is one of the most rarest, hard to find betas. The NEC Super Beta 65EU. VC-N65EU is the model number. So I've got a tape inside, and if we hit play, this is what we see. We have a drum servo problem. Actually, not a drum servo, a capstan servo. You can hear the capstan, and it's running. It's kind of running a little fast, as you can hear. It very well could be a drum servo, but this is going to be a capstan servo issue. Because just a minute ago when I was playing with it, the audio was not quite right, and it's not playing at the right speed. So that's an indication of the capstan. Now we could have also an issue with the drum spinning at the wrong speed as well, but it's definitely got a servo problem. And this particular machine is a very nice unit. It's got two problems. It's got the servo problem, and it's got a problem with the loading of the cassette. When it loads the cassette, it'll load fine, but when it ejects, it wants to keep ejecting. And this is what we got. And as we continue to let it play, the picture gets better, and then it gets worse, and then it gets better. So we really need to fix this one and get this thing up and going. But this is actually going to be a lot easier to repair than I thought. The NEC machines are very known for having capstans that go bad. Also, they have tendencies to have the Hall effect device that goes bad on them, which is the idler motor. The Hall effect device on the idler motor, they go bad, but the idler motor is working fine. Now the capstan on these models are the same capstan as the Sony 711B chassis. So it could be a capstan issue. But I think the servo is where we're going to need to go into the servo board. So go onto the servo board, check for bad capacitors. I'm sure that there is going to be bad capacitors in that servo board. There's a drum servo which adjusts the speed of the rotation of the video head, and then there's the capstan servo, which is the speed of the tape that's going through the machine. The tape is, the capstan is what moves the tape forward in the playback position. So and this thing does have see, you can hear the playback is not quite right. You can hear it in the audio. So we'll take a look at this thing, and I'll show you the inside here. So here's the inside of one of these, the VC-N65EU, and I've got two of these that I need to get going. I want to repair two of these decks that I have. So this will be the first deck that we'll repair, and then we'll repair the other deck. The other deck, I worked on it about a year ago. So about a year ago, I worked on the other one and got it going. It was fine. And then it broke down recently when I wanted to use it. So we got two of these, but this is the one that just came in just a little while ago. Earlier this morning, this machine came in. Yeah, well, actually it was early afternoon. So we're gonna work on this one first, and once we get this one going, then we'll work on the other one. So we've got two NECs that we need to get going and get working. This is a very rare model, but as you can see, you've got your 3 speeds: beta 1, beta 1, beta 2, and beta 3. Now, beta 1 is beta 1S. It will play back the original beta 1, and it will also play back the beta 1S. It also records in beta 1S. It cannot record in the original beta 1, but it can record in the beta 1S, which was the 5.6 megahertz mode. And then it has trouble. So we'll fix that as well, because it wants to continuously go. I think I'll take I might take the cassette housing. I think what's going on here is this plastic. Actually, I think it's just the motor here. This plastic pulley that's on here is come loose from the post, so it's just free spinning. The motor is just free spinning, and so it's thinking it wants to fully unload the tape. It thinks there's a tape still in it. See, when you hit power, it wants to see. It thinks that, okay, that's turning, but that's not. So it might be just a belt. Actually, I think it is. It's just a belt problem. So it just needs a new belt put on there. A new belt will fix that issue. That's not a big deal. So, but we'll fix the playback issue. And then I'll take the cassette housing out, because I got to take the cassette housing out and then to replace the belt, and then we'll be able to get this thing fully operational. Okay guys, so the board for the Cassette Servo is right in this area of this particular board. The one thing that I don't like about the NEC betas is they don't mark the boards what they are. Sony always marked what the board was. And so how do we find the Cassette Servo if the board is not marked? I'm just going to trace the wire from where. So the capstan wire, this is the capstan right here, and as you can see, the wiring is going into this area right in here. This is where it's plugging in at, right there, and right there. That white one and the red plug go into there. Now, I'm tracing I was checking these 3 capacitors. The bigger cap is fine, but these 2 little capacitors are dead. So, we need to change those 2. Also, there's some adjustments here. Now, due to the fact that I don't have a service manual, I probably will need to adjust the capstan speed, and you can do that with these blue adjustments. The problem is that I don't know, what adjustment does what. I'll put a little Sharpie mark, a permanent marker, and I will draw a line as to where the original settings are, so that when I do turn the settings and change things, I can go back to home position where it was, back to home position, so that, I can go on to the next switch until I find the one that will work and adjust the speed of the capstan. Now it does say system control servo / servo, so we know that this board is the right board. Now there's probably this part of the board over here is probably for the drum servo, because you have your drum servo and you have your capstan servo. And the 3 electrolytics that I'm going to change right now is going to be C157 and C151. C158 is good. So to make sure that that is the case, I am going to go ahead, let's double check those. I'm watching that movie Halloween. I believe it was back in 1978, so I'm watching that because Halloween is tomorrow. So just to make sure that I'm changing out the right caps, let's go back to that one. So I've got it set here, and I'm gonna check these. So I think it was this one that was bad. Yeah, that one is bad, and this one over here is bad. The center one is fine. The center one is registering good. I just got the multimeter set here, so now there's probably going to be more capacitors that have failed that we'll have to go into and check. But that one is bad too. So here's another bad one. C167 is bad. Let's check 147. Okay, 147 is okay. So we'll change this one as well. Stupid motion sensor light in my room. Okay, so I know that that is bad. So I do know that the bad capacitors are this one, 167, 151, and 157 are bad, and we're going to change those. I'm just going to change the ones that are bad. What I'm going to do is get my soldering iron hot and heat that up a little bit, and we'll change those caps and see if that makes any difference. The problem is that when you change capacitors in the servo board, a lot of times you will have to make adjustments. Okay, I got the board mounted. Change the caps now. Some of the traces, like this trace right over here, you can see that it was halfway damaged. Some of the traces, part of the traces are gone due to leaky capacitors, and these are the ones that were all leaking and needed to be changed. So I've changed them. The next step is going to be seeing what it does when we go to play a tape. I'm pretty sure that I'll have to do some adjustment. Let's throw these away. These were 10 microfarad. They're 16 at 10 microfarad. And there was a 50 volts at 1 microfarad that we're doing. So now what we'll do is we'll flip the VCR around and we'll plug it in and we'll see what happens. So we've got the caps changed, and the only thing that we need to do now is make adjustments to the servo, the capstan servo, so that we can get it running at the right speed, because we're just not running at the right speed. You can see a little bit of could be that the drum is running a little fast too. I guess I could take that shielding off and let's slow down the heads with our finger and see if we can get the picture to come back, because it might not be the capstan, maybe it's the drum servo that's out of whack. So let's take the shielding off here. I don't know why NEC puts a shielding plate over the video heads, but they do, and it's probably a smart thing to do. And I think the reason why they put it there is because there's this piece of copper that extends and touches the head. That might have something to do with why they shielded the head. So just gonna remove the let's see what happens when we slow the see? Look. You start messing with it. We start messing with it. And we start getting a picture. Did you see that? There. Look. See that? We got a picture. It's not our capstan. It's our drum. Okay. So, we know that our drum is running way too fast. It's not a capstan problem. It is I should have done this earlier, but it is a head. Look. See? So that's going to be in the system control. Look at that. This is just going way too fast. Too fast. Okay, so we know our head drum is not running at the correct speed. And there's our color and our picture. Look, I'm able to control it. Okay, it's not our capstan, it's our head drum. I thought that was just running at too high a speed, so I'm just wondering if the system control has gone wacky. I think there might have been some capacitors maybe have went bad in the system control. So let's put I'm going to put the shielding plate back on, and when we do that, I'm going to go into the system control board. See, now we're actually, see, it's warming up, and it just seems to do okay. So we're gonna go back underneath it and check for some capacitors in the system control board, and then I want to find out where the video head plugs into, because I don't know the capstan is an automatic speed. It'll automatically detect what speed the tape is in. So it definitely was not capstan. Now that we know that we do this, stupid light. Now that we know that the problem is in the head, and I could hear that the head is just running at too high of a speed. See? Okay, I'm going to unplug it, and we'll go back on that other board, and we'll do some investigation for more capacitors that have failed. I got a feeling the system control servo is our area that we need to take a look at. Well, hey guys, this is the Bedmax Man, and I was working on the NEC Super Beta, the what is it? The VC-N65EU. This is a nice, the best NEC beta machine ever made as far as NEC machines. This is a Super Beta HiFi machine. It had, of course, which in the previous video you've seen me talk about the fact that it has the Beta 1S recording and playback ability. And I believe it will play back the original Beta 1 as well. It'll only record in the Beta 1S. It will not record in the original Beta 1, only Beta 1S. But it will play back Beta 1 recordings. I've only got like maybe 1 or 2 tapes with the original Beta 1 speed recorded on it, but I don't know exactly where that tape is, so we'll play with that later. But what I've done here is made some adjustments. This adjustment right here is the adjustment for the speed of the drum, here, the drum servo. Now, as we mentioned in the previous video, where I took my finger and I slowed down the motor on I slowed the video head down with my finger by pressing on motor, and we got a picture. And when it was running at very, very high speeds, and so the head was running at the wrong speed. It was running way too high. So I did some replacement capacitors in the drum servo. After doing that, I was able to, I figured out that, okay, it's still running at a high speed. So what the hell is going on here? Well, doing some adjustments, I was messing with some of the adjustments, and I was able to get it to now start to play. So what we'll do is we'll hit play here. There's the TV, so if we hit forward, we're going forward. We have a picture. We do have a picture now. Not a good one, but we do have one. We're having some issues with the colors. The colors are not quite right. You'll have normal colors and then it'll flicker and fry. I can't show much of this, but what I will show, you can see the colors just kind of flickering in and out. The colors are not quite right, so that's gonna be definitely on the servo. I mean, not the servo, but the video board. It's gonna be a problem on the video board. Now, is it gonna be capacitors? Probably, is what I'm guessing. Because now the video board, it could also be in the color processing board, but I think it's going to be, yeah, it's probably the color board that we need to look at. This board right here is going to be the board, I believe, is the board that we want to look at and see if we can get the colors to be right, because the colors are kind of not working that great. They're kind of messed up a little bit. But if you're wondering what movie this is, it's Good Morning Vietnam with Robin Williams, and it's a pretty cool show. It's not bad. I like the movie. I don't like it real well, but I do like it. So anyway, but we're getting a lot further on this thing. We got progress. But the next problem we gotta tackle is not just the color correction problem, but we need to figure out why the cassette is not going back in. Well, the cassettes, you can't put a cassette in and have it load the cassette. I have to manually load the tape in, and I have to manually thread around the drum, and then power off and power back on, and then it'll play. So we do have an issue with the cassette housing. or we have a problem with the circuitry that controls the cassette housing, but it's the cassette housing. Cassette housing has got some issues, so if we eject it, see, so that's probably a switch, because you can see here it's blinking stop, because it's not, and it ain't gonna take the tape, see, it's just gonna get stuck, so I have to manually do I think that the cassette housing needs to be changed. So what I'm going to do is put the bottom back on for now. We're going to put the bottom back on. We're going to take the front faceplate off. We're going to change out the cassette housing. I've got another cassette housing that I can use to put in here. We'll change that out because, or I suspect, well, this belt is slipping as well. You can see that, yes, that belt's slipping. But I think the switch is also stuck. I think the switch on the cassette housing is not activating properly. And because I've already got another cassette housing that I can use, we're just going to swap out the cassette housing and solve that issue so that this thing will work by itself. But the colors are not quite right. Now, this is a problem with NEC beta machines. They'll have problems with some color where you'll have flickering of the color is not right. It just kind of flickers, and that's definitely in the video board. On the video board. And the video board, of course, is a board that I just showed you, which is on the bottom, the very bottom. On this side is where that board's going to be located. We got quite a few projects coming up as well, so I'm trying to get, you know, as much projects done as I can. I really need to get this one up and going because I'm really kind of debating on, do I want to sell it or do I want to keep it? Because this does have the Beta 1S recording capability. It's got the playback capability. Now, yes, I've already got two SLH-1000s, so I really don't need the NEC. But I just think that this is something that I can basically sell. You know, this machine will, if I sell it, it's gonna go for once it's repaired and working properly, it's gonna be probably $200. So you could buy it for $200 if you want. So my eBay username for eBay is Raymond's PCs, and that's the username for eBay that I have. So if I sell it, look for it on eBay and you'll find it. So it's gonna be a $200 machine because I put a lot of work into this already. I'm still continuing to work on it. We're still getting things going, but due to the fact that this is such a rare machine, it is really a rare machine. You do not find these machines very often. So we're gonna change out the cassette basket after I put this bottom end back on, and we'll get this thing up and going and get it to where it'll play tapes, and we'll do a test recording, but I want to get the video working as well, so I just want to get the mechanics working, and then we'll go and look at the video board and see what we can do with that. So I know that we can get this thing going. It's just gonna take some time. You know, it's got issues, you know. See, it thinks that there's it thinks that the cassette is still inside, and it's trying to load the cassette, unload the cassette, but it just basically thinks there's a tape still stuck, and the tape's not. See, the motor's turning. So we got a few issues with this, and we're kind of heading in the right direction. We got it going, partially going. Okay, we have the new cassette housing installed, and we've changed the door. Had to change doors because it was off of another machine. So let's just see if it works. Okay, that's what it's supposed to do when you hit the power button. So let's hit let's get the tape in and see if it'll accept a cassette, and it will. Well, it should accept a cassette, but the question is it going to thread around the drum without me helping it? Let's find out. All right. It works. Now there's a problem with color, or with the video. So we got some issue with the video. We're getting that flashing of colors, and I can do this with my hand, and then they won't copyright me if I put my hand up like that. So let's put my hand up there just to keep the copyright police from entering my video and taking it down.
Okay, we're gonna have some songs at the right now, coming your way.
So what you're seeing is you're seeing the volume meters, and you're seeing the tracking meter. If the tracking is off, it will tell you whether or not your tracking is good or not. I'm not sure why that light is staying on, but our tracking is perfect. So we can do that. We get it in the center, and our tracking is very good. Our beta HiFi light is indicated that this tape has HiFi stereo recorded onto it. So let's go ahead and eject it and see if it'll we're just going to make sure that it works, which it does. There we go. Okay, it's tracking by itself now, so that is awesome. So this is working really good now, despite the color problem. I could go like that, or I can go like that. Just enough so that YouTube can't sit there and copyright me, because YouTube likes to copyright videos even though there's no copyright in there. So, I feel good. Okay. Now we're done screwing around. We have successfully repaired a NEC VC-N65EU. It is now working and performing beautifully. It's loading itself. It loads by itself now. It's just so perfect. So this one will probably for sale. Normal, right, left, stereo. We've got TV line. Normal. Got HiFi. There's HiFi. There's beta. We have beta 1, beta 2, beta 3. We're going to put it on beta 1 because that's the speed that I record on. I'll have to figure out how the hell to set the clock, because I'm not really sure how to set the clock on this one. So you hit, I think you hit set. Yeah, I'm not really sure. It's set. Maybe you go. Oh, I gotta take the front panel back off, because I've got this one's not in place, so I gotta take the front panel back off and put it back on. This is just not. This button has not slid over the actual button that's behind the front faceplate here. So we'll fix that. But we got a working NEC Super Beta HiFi. Very happy. I'm not happy about the coloring, but we will fix that. So will it rewind and will it fast forward? Okay, it is going to rewind. Fast forward. Play. So good. Alright, it's working. We got a slipping belt. So I'm gonna have to order a new belt. And because yeah, I don't have one. Now another one, there's probably, I'm sure that there's a bunch of there's a lot, you know, there's some sellers right now on eBay that are selling belt kits for NEC VCRs. Now, the belt kit should include a belt for the beta VCR as well as the VHS, because NEC, they used belts on both their VHS and their beta decks. So we're gonna have to get a new belt for that, because that belt is slipping. I put a little rubber renew on there, but I don't have any. See how smooth it's loading now? So we'll tackle the video board. We need to go on the video board and check the video board and see what's going on, and see why we have problems with the video. But that's a common problem for NEC betas. NEC beta machines, they seem to have this issue. I've had a couple other NECs in the past that have had this issue. So the belt's not slipping all the time, it's just slipping every once in a while. So it will be good to get the video board going. I want to get the video board fixed before I tackle the belt issue, but I have to order a belt, so I'm gonna have to order the belts because I don't have a belt. I probably have a belt for this one, but the one that we need is this one over here. Now, if I don't think I have any rubber renew left, but I may have. Might be just a hair left in that bottle right there. That's my rubber renew, and I don't really have, only maybe a couple of drops. So a couple of drops is enough to put on a Q-tip and put on the belts, and maybe we can get the belt so that the belt will start to work again and not slip. But this is what it's supposed to sound like when you hit the power button. It makes that sound. It's not supposed to make a continuous sound. So we've got one working, and I have two of these, and I want to repair the other one. I'd like to have two of these up and going. It'd just be really cool to have two of these decks. But I've got, you know, this is going to be a deck that we're going to play with and enjoy before I sell it. I may not sell it. I don't know. It depends on how much I can get for it. I mean, I think I can get 200 out of it. So Beta 1S, which was around 300 lines, whereas regular Beta 2 was you're getting about 240 lines. So regular Beta 2 was 240 lines. The original Beta 1 was 250 lines, but the Beta 1S is around 300 lines. And the Super Beta, Beta 2 Super, is 280, 290 lines, around in that area. Automatic fine tuning, we turn that off. Normal edit, put normal TV line. We can go to line because that, So the board that we're wanting to get into is going to be this board that's underneath this one. The one that's directly underneath this. There's a board there that we can work on. Getting to the board is going to be a little challenging because NEC kind of stacked the boards in there like a stack of pancakes. And there's the battery that remembers the time when it gets unplugged. Machine can remember its time for quite a few minutes being unplugged for about 10 minutes, and it can still remember the time, but then after that passes, then it can't remember. But that battery's most likely not any good either, so that battery most likely needs replaced. But that doesn't matter because using it as a timer recorder is not really going to be, I mean, it's not really a big deal nowadays anyway. So I gotta take this front panel off and get the buttons to be in there properly. And then we'll put the screws back in because we'll be done with taking the bottom off. We'll be done with that. So I think we're going to be mainly working up on the top. But right now, this is, I'm happy with the progress so far. We've got the video head now running at the proper speed. That was causing a lot of issues. We now have a cassette housing that works. That was another issue that this had. And the third and final issue is the color, which we will address in another video. But I think for this video, this is gonna be it. So far, happy with the progress that we've made on this thing today. So one of my goals was to get this thing working. That was my goal. Now the other machine, I think it has a lot of problems, and it may not even be viable to repair the other one. It may be just viable just to take might just swap out the video boards and see if that remedies anything, but it may not, because the NEC VCRs do seem to have issues with the color. You know, something going on with the video circuitry for sure. Okay, so I got the bottom back on here, and we fixed that button for the clock here, and I think I'll be able to set the time now. So anyway, we hit the power, and if we go to we can now go to clock. Set clock. I think you have to hit. I'm not sure how to set the clock, but start. That's for timing, I think. Oh, here we go. There. Yeah, there we go. There. So we can set the clock now. 10. $36, and then we can do the day, which is Saturday. There we go. We got the clock set, just that simple. You just slide it over the clock, hit your set. You have to continue pressing the set button, and then you can hit your day or your hour or minutes. This goes by 10 minutes. This goes by minute. And you got your timer record. And so if we were to go on start, you could set whatever you wanted your timer to be. But we'll go back over the clock, and then you have your tracking, or the VU meter, or the track, because this actually activates as not only a volume meter but a tracking meter as well. And if it's in the red, that means your tracking is bang on. But it's kind of a different thing. Now, I do have a remote for this machine. This is the original remote for this. The problem is that the remote does not work, so I'm not sure why the remote doesn't work, but oh, it does work. It is working. So I got the remote and it does work. So you can hit VCR TV, and it works, and I can play a tape. So we can put a tape in, and it'll play. Now I've got to put 2 screws back into the top here, the top piece here. So we take the tape. We can insert the tapes now, because and if we hit the play, I don't know why the top LED doesn't seem to be working. So something happened there. Something happened to the volume meter. Well, I can take a look at that later. It's not really a big deal. But there's tracking, and then there's the VU meter, the volume meter. What you're seeing is, you're not seeing 3 lights. You're just seeing the one, but it's reflecting off of the plastic piece here. It's reflecting off of it, making it look like another UV meter. But this one is staying on solid, so there's something wrong with the volume meter, and we can fix that later on. So that is awesome. There's pause, and then hit play, and then we'll unpause, and we can do recording. You'd have to hit these 2, but it'll eject because the record tab has been popped out, so that you can't accidentally record something. So that is awesome to have. Oh, it has an eject button on it. Most remotes that I know of do not have an eject button. That is awesome. So I think on the next video we're going to tackle the color issue in the video, and then we'll take a look at the VU meter, and we'll try to find out why the one has stayed on solid, and we'll see what we can do and figure that out. But we do got a working remote for this thing. It works, and I'm very, very happy with this. For now, for part one, I'd say part one was definitely a success. So, and it is nice the fact that we've got a remote control and it's back together and it works beautifully, except for the problem of the video. And it is kind of a video problem. It might even be it's either color board related or it's the head amplifier that's going out or that's having problems, because but I think sometimes with color discoloration like that, you can definitely have a problem with the color processing board, or you can have a problem with the head amp. But I don't think it's the head amp, because usually the head amp doesn't have colors that are going screwy like that. That's usually the color processing board. So I think the color processing board is responsible for that issue. So anyway, but this thing works now, and the only thing we have is we have a color problem. And we have issue with the belts. So we gotta have another belt on that as well. Doesn't seem to do it all the time though. It only does it like once in a while, so the belt will slip. And the colors, you know, definitely not quite right. So it's definitely color board.
We've got our friends from military intelligence. Can you tell us what you found out about the enemy since you've been here?
We found out that we can't find them. They're out there, and we're having a major difficulty in finding the enemy.
What do you use to look for them?
Well, we asked people who knew the enemy.
And it's got a working remote to boot, so that's really cool. Okay, that is going to be it on the part one, and you'll see part two will be coming, and part two we're gonna fix the color problem, and we're gonna see what we can do about fixing the volume meters find out why that 1 meter is stuck on. Because it wasn't doing that earlier today. It just happened. This is something that's happened just recently in filming the progress of the repair of this beautiful piece of machinery. So for the Betamax man, this is me signing off. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.